What's up, Star Wars fans? Great googly moogly. It's been a fun few days playing Squadrons. We're about 2 to 3 days post-launch, depending on what part of the world you live in, which means you have anywhere from 2 to 72 hours of playtime, and, that depends on how sweaty you get. I'm somewhere in the middle. Thank you for asking. In hindsight, I am super glad that I took a couple weeks to play Starfighter Assault so much, because it definitely carried over into Squadrons in terms of basic flight, and it's helped me spare a few extra brain cells for things like drifting and power transfers. There's this whole thing called micro drifting that I've been working on. It's not as easy as I was hoping it was going to be, but we're gonna figure it out, and then once I do, I'll teach it to you from the pro. Anyway, now that I've spent some time with every mode of the game, I thought it would be helpful to share my initial takeaways of methods you can use to improve your experience in multiplayer and perhaps reduce your overall learning curve. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Don't forget to hang out with me on Twitch. And without further ado, we've got our first official Squadrons in-game content. Here are 14 tips for improving in multiplayer for Star Wars Squadrons. Number 1. Play a lot. As a former StarCraft 2 player, latophobia is a thing. No one likes being bad at something they love. The truth is, the people you most look up to as being the best at your favorite games have failed more times than you've even tried playing that game. Fail. Lose. A lot. Focus on what you can improve each time. Keep it small, keep it manageable, so that even when you lose, you can notice the improvement you've made from match to match. Play a lot, and when you can't take it anymore, play again. Number 2, don't stop. No, this is not connected to number 1. This is a literal tip. Do not stop in a match. Do not throttle down to 0. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. I can't tell you how many people I've killed in Squadrons because they thought themselves terribly clever and cute for stopping dead as soon as they break line of sight behind a piece of debris or an asteroid. It does not work. Your enemy can still see you on radar. You will die every time. Just don't do it. Number 3. Build your boost up whenever you aren't engaging an enemy. Especially at game start, dump your energy into engines. Your lasers and shields do not deplete by rerouting energy. If you can enter a fight able to drift when your target cannot, you have an advantage. Take whatever edges you can. This is even more important when you're playing as the Empire, since you can dump energy into your laser cannons directly from your engines if you don't end up needing the drift. Take edges wherever you can. Have something your opponent does not. Number 4. Bomber classes have a damage reduction cooldown. I was literally screaming at my squad mates demanding to know why I was dumping an entire energy depletion of lasers into a TIE bomber, and it took something like 5% damage the entire time. This is why I'm here. I'm here to be stupid so you don't have to be. The bomber class has a damage mitigation cooldown that lasts 3 seconds and more or less makes them invincible to damage. Not truly invincible, but you might as well be throwing your shoe at them for all that helps. There's a blue glow associated with the activation of this cooldown, so if you see you're doing almost no damage to a bomber, count to 3, then resume firing. You're welcome. Number 5. Ion weapons, as the kids say, slap. That's it. That's the tip. If it has the word ion in it, equip it. They may get nerfed at some point in the future, but dear sweet baby Jesus, they are incredibly powerful, and it's basically a guaranteed kill once you've disabled a craft. Just put it on every fighter that you can. Number 6. Do not ignore bomber or support class ships. I don't just mean because they can take out your capital ships. If you lose track of a bomber or support ship and they choose you to be their new special friend, they will absolutely wreck you before you have time to react. If you can get on their tail and avoid picking up a tail of your own, they're pretty much sitting ducks, but watch out for mines and turrets from the support ships. Number 7. Don't be afraid to switch ships. I am the first person in line at the master each ship before moving on ride at Disney World, but sometimes you will just be shut down by your opponents for one reason or another, or you'll be moving into a different phase of fleet battle, or let's face it, you just want to try it out. Get used to swapping ships when you hit a wall. There is no shame in admitting a strategy isn't working unless you refuse to do something about it. Give it a shot. I'm told Y-Wings go burr against Star Destroyers. Number 8. Communicate often. The difference between being average and being good at this game is communication. Harder if you're with a group of random people, but if you're playing with friends, even just one or two, calling out targets and focus firing makes your movement through the battlefield way more efficient. The other benefit is that you can also call out when you pick up a tail and not have to choose between staying on your target and dying or getting into a death loop with your new best friend. It's not about playing fair. Numbers advantage is an edge. Take it and don't give it up. Number 9, be everyone's favorite wingman. This applies to number 8, but number 9 is more about how you pick your engagements after you spawn. The first instinct will be go kill the bad guys and fly at whatever one is closest, but you will find you increase your survivability dramatically if you instead choose someone on your own team who is perhaps engaging someone else. Maybe you simply help him kill his target faster and get an assist, or maybe he's picked up a tail and you can get an easy kill while he's able to get his. Seriously, don't just fly into the middle of 3 enemy starfighters and wonder why no one helped you. Be the wingman you want to have. Be Goose, or Maverick, or Iceman, I don't care, pick one. Number 10, do not underestimate capital ships. They hurt a lot. They fire missiles, they have tractor beams, they don't serve pie, and more importantly, they have a lot of laser cannons. Add it on to enemy starfighters firing at you, and you'll be shocked how quickly you can die. Plan your assaults with care. Speed and shields help a lot. Target components. Number 11. Speaking of targeting, use your freaking targeting wheel. You can sort your targeting computer by friendly craft, enemy human craft, and capital ship components, to name a few. Don't waste time on AI starfighters if there are player-controlled enemies around. Sort your targeting computer by them so you'll always be firing on priority targets and don't have to waste time scrolling through unimportant trash. Number 12. Use cover when it's available. If you haven't already noticed this, you've probably at least sensed how certain levels are easier or harder for missile locks. Wide open spaces make you a wide open target. If you don't fancy dodging multiple missiles every few seconds, use asteroids, debris, whatever you can find to break line of sight if you're being hunted. It is usually enough to keep you alive until a friendly can help you out. Number 13. Reorient yourself often during dogfights. Don't get locked into one perspective. Roll your ship. You can turn faster by pitching upwards than you can by pitching downwards or yawing left and right. If you end up fighting someone cutting across your screen, roll your ship so that you're pursuing at the fastest angle possible. Last but not least, number 14. This is less of a combat tip and more of something you should consider when you are not flying. Familiarize yourself with the options menu. There is a lot of customization to be had from the various systems in your ship. Once you've played the game for a bit, go check out the settings menu. You can tweak things more specifically to your liking, experiment on others. Again, take every advantage you can. Efficiency kills. Literally. Find the things that work for you. Boom! You're amazing. Focus on what you can control. Complain about what you can't, but always think about what you can actively do about it. Hopefully these tips at least give you a better perspective of what to consider while flying. I'm sure at some point in the future, once I've had more time with the game, I'll issue some kind of mea culpa to say, nope, number 13 and number 4 were just dumb, don't do that. But until then, give it a shot. Remember to like and subscribe. Catch me on Twitch if you want to see me make a fool of myself in hilarious ways. And remember, the only way you don't improve is if you stop trying. Happy hunting, pilots.
Take this! And this!